In Destiny 2, players often ask what the strongest weapon is or what the best role of a certain weapon is. You could think of today's video as a Destiny 2 shopping list for specifically the best weapons in the game. Now, jumping right into it, we're starting with the first loot source, which is world drops. These can be random or farmable, and I have charts for each. When I say a world drop, this pretty much means you can get this loot anywhere. Although in the past there have been expedited farms for these sorts of weapons, I would just not worry about going for them specifically, but if you see any of these, don't delete them. Because I'm going to talk about nearly 100 weapons today, I'm just going to fast fire through these with the reason that I put them on the list in the first place, starting with the Duke Mark 44 for PvP. This one's excellent because opening shot gives you a free headshot for aiming somewhere in the general direction of their body, and Rampage makes it so that every successive kill is a 2-tap, and it has more range than the Ace of Spades. The PvE variant of the Duke is going to contain Rapid Hit, which is a slightly better perk than Outlaw because you don't necessarily need a kill for faster reloads. I think the Duke is a fantastic PvE option, although in a lot of cases it's not the best. But if you see it, I'd keep it. The same could be said about the PvE version of the Go Figure Pulse Rifle. And for the Go Figure PvP version, I'm opting for a ranged variant with Firmly Planted and Rangefinder so that no matter what primary you come across, you will always have more range. The final world drop random weapon to be concerned with is Smuggler's Word. I recommend Rampage or Kill Clip. If you go for Rampage, that means every successive kill will be a 2-tap, and with Kill Clip, that makes it even easier at the cost of reloading. If for any reason you need to take off a last word to run an exotic power weapon instead on a small map like Endless Vale, Smuggler's Word will work perfectly. Now, moving on, I'm trying to rapid fire these explanations to save us all time. I am talking about the World/Nightfall drops that are farmable, starting with the Dustrock Blues, which is the best kinetic shotgun, or at least in contention for the best kinetic shotgun. I'd argue that a Toil and Trouble is just as good nowadays. But anyhow, you can farm both Dustrock Blues, Right Side or Wrong, and Thin Line from particular lost sectors. Just YouTube search the gun and farm next to it, and you will find a related video. The Right Side or Wrong is a pulse rifle akin to Go Figure, but in the energy slot. Same could be said about Thin Line and Duke. The Malicious Birthright is a kinetic grenade launcher that can have some phenomenal perks. The Mindbender's Ambition is an energy shotgun, although it is outclassed a little bit by the Gambit Prime Last Man Standing. It is a lot easier to get. Out of the entire Gunsmith loot pool, only 2 standout options appear, which is the Aerentil Fusion Rifle. I would go with Backup Plan. It makes it exactly what the perk says, a backup weapon that you can just pull out in oh shit moments and evaporate somebody. The Eniope D is a legendary submachine gun kinetic slot that has the range of a short-range auto rifle if you get this particular role. Now moving over to Commander Zavala, we got in the Vanguard the Service Revolver, which is a 180 RPM hand cannon that is in the kinetic slot, so it directly opposes the Not Forgotten that is going to get a nerf, so I can imagine a lot of people are going to be farming for this. I recommend Rangefinder Ricochet rounds, Kill Clip, a Range Masterwork, and a Sure Shot sight, I guess that's what you'd call it. Anyhow, it has the range of Ace of Spades, but without Memento Mori, so if you take just a step outside of Ace's kill distance, you can 4-tap them, whereas they have to 4-tap you, and Ace's 4-tap is slower. So this particular role sets a clear advantage over the popular Ace of Spades, but if you're on console, I anticipate everybody's still using Not Forgotten, so any adequate roll of Service Revolver with Kill Clip will work. Sorry if you hear any thunder in the background, but now we're talking about the Toil and Trouble shotgun, which is the competitor to the Dustrock Blues. The difference being Toil and Trouble is an aggressive frame shotgun, so what that means is that if you get a kill, for a couple seconds you'll have a faster rate of fire. So I would go full into this idea and go with full auto, assault mag, and rampage so that after you pick up that initial kill, every follow-up is that much faster. While I do think the Aerentil is better, I put this main ingredient down just to keep your eye out for it because this particular role with an Icarus mod can be very fun to light some people up from the sky. The Nightshade Pulse Rifle is a kinetic, lightweight pulse rifle, so that means it normally takes 3 bursts to the head to kill, but with kill clip, it goes to 2 bursts, so for that reason alone, I put it on the list. The Persuader Snipe is a rapid-fire 140 RPM snipe, so just like the Twilight Oath or Supremacy, Persuader is in the energy slot, and I recommend Firmly Planted or Snapshot, accurized rounds, and explosive rounds so that you can flinch the hell out of whoever you shoot. On to Lord Shaxx, we got the Wishbringer Shotgun. You have to do some stuff to unlock this weapon. I think it's just play a lot of PvP, but the curated role is Slide Shot Snapshot, but you can do better with random drops, which is Slide Shot Opening Shot or Slide Shot Rampage. The Last Perdition, there goes that storm in the background. The Last Perdition, again, same thing. You play a lot of PvP, you unlock the curated role, and I actually think the curated role is pretty close to perfect, but it might be arguably better. Just take the curated. The Redrix's Broadsword, same thing. An extremely lengthy PvP quest unlocks one of the strongest pulse rifles in the game, in my opinion, though it lacks a bit in range compared to something like the Go Figure. So if you want a Redrix Broadsword random, I would go with Ricochet or High Caliber as the magazine perk, and a Range Masterwork. As for the scope, the best barrel option would probably be either Arrowhead or Full Bore, depending on if you want extra handling and recoil direction, or just go all into range. The play of the game is a heavy grenade launcher. It has been around since day one, but now you can get even better rolls on it. I recommend Field Prep or the Tried and True Threat Detector. With the magazine, I would go Proximity or Sticky Grenades, and for the second perk, Quick Draw or Rampage, it honestly doesn't really matter. Masterwork is Blast Radius, and for the sight, I would go with Volatile Launch. You'll see me recommend Field Prep and Threat Detector on a lot of guns. That's because Field Prep increases your reserves, so sometimes when you slide over an ammo brick, that might give you more ammo. And Threat Detector allows you, even though you're aimed down sights or don't have a radar or a HUD or anything, it'll highlight to let you know if there's 1 or 2 enemies in close proximity. The final weapon on this list does not compute is a legendary scout rifle kinetic slot that I recommend sheerly because of its consistency, although I would agree if you told me that pulse rifles kind of run the show. I really like 150 RPM scouts because it's just 3 headshots, so that gives me the option to duel 1-to-1 with hand cannons, and if I have a better shot despite the zoom, I can still win. As for perks on Does Not Compute, I recommend Hipfire Grip if you hipfire a lot, Moving Target if you don't, Opening Shot if you want a free headshot, and Kill Clip if you want easy follow-ups or 2 taps with any sort of damage booster. It's Drifter now. We are talking about Gambit weapons here, starting with the normal Gambit options. The Parcel of Stardust Lightweight Shotgun. I recommend this. It's in the kinetic slot because it has the lightweight bonus, and the rate of fire is naturally faster. So go with Opening Shot or Full Auto in the first perk slot, Accurized Rounds or Assault Mag as the mag perk, and Rampage for perk 2 for easier follow-ups. The Trust Hand Cannon has completely flew under the radar for PvE reasons. This role has Dragonfly, Drop Mag, Rampage, and a Reload Masterwork so that you can get the snappiest reload, something close to Outlaw actually, except you get the benefits of having Dragonfly and Rampage on a fast-firing hand cannon. And this combo is actually very sick because the Dragonfly can activate Rampage, and the Dragonfly can also change its damage depending on how many stacks of Rampage you have. So I think the better player you are, the more you can take advantage of this trust in PvE, because you can shoot 1 bullet at a crowd, know you're about to get Rampage times 3, and then start just shooting different crowds of enemies in front of you, 1 shot per crowd, knowing that that Dragonfly is going to hit like a truck. And then if you have to reload, you got Drop Mag, so it's not a big deal. With the Not Forgotten receiving a nerf, the other 180 options like Trust are probably going to be more prominent. So again, this is an energy hand cannon. The PvP role is going to have Opening Shot, Accurized Rounds, Explosive Payload for flinch, and a Range Masterwork for more range. The Bygones Kinetic Pulse Rifle is an adapted pulse rifle, so although it does take 3 bursts to kill, this is one of the most consistent pulse rifles in the entire game, so I wouldn't even really worry about what I have written down here for a god roll. You can easily get a god roll because any combination of perks on it will still be pretty decent. But I recommend Headseeker, ricochet rounds for more range, arrowhead break for consistency on the recoil pattern, and I would go with like high impact reserves because as you get to that bottom half of the magazine, that extra damage comboing with Headseeker means that it's much more forgiving for going for body shots. The Bad Omen's rocket launcher used to be instrumental to cheesing the Last Wish raid, the boss encounter Ribbon. I still think that rocket's pretty good, but out of all the rolls possible, I would go with the curated roll, which contains tracking, impact casing, and cluster bombs, so in other words, just more boss DPS. In the spirit of power creep, almost every Gambit Prime weapon is a severe upgrade over its predecessors. For example, the Last Man Standing shotgun is better than the Mindbender's Ambition shotgun that I mentioned earlier in the Nightfall drop section. You can get opening shot, accurized round, and a perk called 1-2 punch, which allows so that if you land all the pellets in a shot, which is going to happen because of opening shot, you get enhanced melee damage, which with this combo, you can take out supers. So in other words, it's one of the few guns in the game that can deal with supers. The Spare Rations hand cannon replaces the Dire Promise in PvP with offerings of perks such as Snapshot Sights, Rapid Hit, Ricochet Rounds, High Caliber, Swashbuckler, Kill Clip, Rangefinder. The max range variant is very rare, but it does outshoot an Ace of Spades without Memento Mori. The Spare Rations in PvE can replace something like the Midnight Coup with perks like Rapid Hit or Substance and Rampage. The Soul Survivor Sniper is a adaptive sniper, so not the most favorable archetype, but you can get opening shot on it, which makes it unique for PvP. For PvE, on the other hand, you can go with Firing Line, which increases precision damage, and 4 times the charm / extended mag to fire a lot of bullets. The Lonesome Sidearm is a kinetic precision sidearm that features the perk Swashbuckler so that if you get a melee kill, you get the equivalent of Kill Clip, and any successive melee kill or regular hand cannon kill for a couple seconds will reset the perk timer. So it's a very, very good option for an aggressive Missile Titan or Bottom Tree Striker where you just want to do a lot of melee combos and light people up in close quarters. The Doomsday Grenade Launcher has 2 unique perks on it, which can be either Full Court, which means the longer a grenade travels, the more damage it does, or Demolitionist, which means any grenade launcher kill gives you grenade energy. Even to this day, I still do the Dreaming City reset every week because the weapons are too good to pass up. The Twilight Oath Curated is one of the top energy sniper options. It's a rapid fire with both snapshot and box breathing to make those laning shots that much easier. You can also get random roll perks such as Firmly Planted or Opening Shot to make your job even easier, but it's pretty rare. The shotgun is going to be Retold Tale. You can get Quick Draw and Snapshot at the same time, but I would recommend going with Slide Shot or Rampage in the second perk slot. The Waking Vigil hand cannon might rise to prominence since the Not Forgotten got nerfed. It can feature opening shot, ricochet rounds, and slide shot for a very easy shooting experience, and it might even outrange Ace. Sleepless is a high-impact rocket launcher that has a very good stat split, as well as offering field prep and cluster bombs so that you can take advantage of scavenger perks. The Black Armory expansion made it very easy to farm for god rolls, so let's go ahead and go down the list, starting with the Hammerhead machine gun. I would go with Quick Draw or Tap the Trigger, Ricochet Rounds or High Caliber, Surrounded or Rampage so that you can get more damage per bullet, leading to better ammo conservation. The Tatara Gaze is a high-impact energy sniper rifle, so the only one of its kind. I would go with Quick Draw or Snapshot, and for perk 2, Kill Clip or Box Breathing, depending on if you want to body shot people or kill supers with a headshot. The Kindled Orchid, again because of the Not Forgotten nerf, is a energy hand cannon that might rise to prominence because it can get both Kill Clip and Rampage at the same time, allowing for 2 taps after reloading. The Striker Surehand is a power weapon, a sword that you can get surrounded on, so I would use this with like a radar booster mod so that you can get more information while being third person. The Blast Furnace is a very versatile kinetic pulse rifle. It's one of the 4-shot burst pulse rifles. I would go with Quick Draw or Snapshot, accurized rounds for range, and Kill Clip, Rampage, or Slide Shot for consistency reasons. You can also get a PvE roll, with Feeding Frenzy or Outlaw Tactical Mag, Alloy Mag for faster reloads, and Kill Clip or Rampage. This one does phenomenal in Gambit. The Atalanta D is close to the Antiope D, but worse stat-wise. However, both guns are so rare that you might as well keep an eye out for this particular role, which has ricochet rounds, kill clip, range masterwork, and a hollow sight. The Swift Ride is very close to the Last Perdition pulse rifle. They're both energy adaptives, and I would go for the exact same perks on both. Both the Last Wish and the Scourge of the Past raid offer some very powerful weapons, so if you're into raiding, keep an eye out for these weapons. Starting at the top at Last Wish, we're going with the Supremacy Sniper. This is a rapid-fire frame 140 RPM sniper. I recommend Snapshot, any mag perk, and Kill Clip. The perk pool on these is very, very small, so it's easy to get a god roll, and it's very obvious what the better perks are, because in the perk 2 slot, for example, Kill Clip is vastly superior to everything else because it's the only thing that actually makes a difference in PvP. Meaning that if you get a kill, then reload, you get slightly more damage, do 130 to the body, which means you can clean up with a hand cannon headshot, for example. With any other perk, you can't do that. So now, moving on, the Nations of Beast hand cannon is a 140 RPM adaptive. You can get opening shot and kill clip, so with damage boosters, you can have a very consistent 2-tap kill clip combo with like Lunafaction, Rift, or Inertia Override Titan. The Age-Old Bond is going to be a weird recommendation because it's an auto rifle, it's high impact, but I find it to be one of the most consistent out of the entire lot. I would call it the energy version of Suros Regime. The Transfiguration Scout Rifle is probably best in slot for kinetic. It's a 150 RPM, and it features both Rampage and Kill Clip, so this means that for sure you are going to 2-tap somebody with Kill Clip. For the Scourge of the Past raid, I would keep an eye out for the threat level shotgun. A very strong PvP role is surrounded, accurized rounds, and threat detector or quick draw, depending on if you want a more usable build or a more information-based build. But with surrounded, you get a damage boost when surrounded by opponents, and this is unique to that shotgun. In PvE, you pretty much just replace surrounded with trench barrel, and it does a phenomenal job. Next up is the Tempered Dynamo Fusion Rifle. This one can get both opening shot and disruption break, which is really unique and might even be worth considering with like an Ace of Spades type build. Last up is the No Feeling Scout Rifle, which features the perk Box Breathing on a 180 RPM, so you can actually 3-tap when you have this perk activated, which makes it extremely powerful in the Crucible. The final loot source to talk about is the Iron Banner, which features weapons such as Kramil's Dagger, a 110 RPM hand cannon with very good base stats. You can have the perk on it Rangefinder Accurized Rounds, and Time Payload. I know this is going to be a weird one, but Time Payload will still kill fast. It's not going to have like a delayed kill as long as you aim for the head. And it also acts like explosive rounds, so you can have a better effective kill range, and it flinches people regularly. So that's a huge advantage, and I've been looking for this role forever. The Bite of the Fox is my sniper rifle with arguably the most kills on it. The one I have is Snapshot Opening Shot, but you can still go for like Firmly Planted or Explosive Rounds is also a fantastic option. The magazine perk Tactical Mag is pretty much the only option here because it is superior. It gives you the extra bullet and better perks like Reload. The masterwork I would suggest is Range for better aim assist, and I don't really think the sight matters too much. You will get a good one. The Orwing's Maul Grenade Launcher just got added recently, and I would recommend going with Quick Draw and Concussion or Proxy Nades with the new Demolitionist perk so that you can throw more grenades. The Roar the Bear is a high-impact rocket launcher with both auto-loading holster and field prep, so not only do you get more rockets, but you can also just shoot them and forget about them and just instantly swap to like a hand cannon and put in more damage that way. Man, I was booking it, and that was still a long-winded video, so here we are at the outro. I know I probably missed your favorite weapon. I'm sorry. I noticed in like the gunsmith section, I didn't mention good bone structure or god bone structure. It's really hard to get a bad roll on that one in the first place, but it also sort of falls out of fashion when you consider the strength of other shotguns. Sure, you could throw an Icarus mod on it and play like Attunement of the Sky and just fly around trying to headshot people, but a lot of times it's just going to be outclassed by other shotguns, so I elected not to include it. Of course, things like this are inevitable in these kinds of videos, so let me know in the comment section what your favorite weapon is, the favorite role on it, and where to get it, / the best way to farm for it. If you're here for my live streams, I appreciate you checking out both my Twitch and my YouTube channel, but I get asked this exact same question every single day. Hey, what do you think about this role? So I figured I would make a condensed video that pretty much covers the best of the best in Destiny 2, and somebody can compare their role to what I have on screen and make that decision for themselves, you know? It saves a lot of time when I see that question pop up once every single minute. So thank you for understanding. I will do my best to have better discussions with you guys in the future. This video also answers the question of what I'm farming for on a given day. If you see that I'm playing Gambit for some reason, I'm probably trying to get one of those weapons on the Gambit section of this video. The same could be said about Strikes. If I'm playing Strikes, I'm probably trying to get Vanguard tokens so I can get something like the Service Revolver from Zavala. If you missed it, the text version of the charts featured on this video will be in the description of this video. It should be like a Google document or something like that. Feel free to download it, send it around. I don't really care if you say it was for me or whatever. I just feel like this answers the question of what is a good weapon in Destiny. If in future expansions of Destiny 2, some of the information on this list is inevitably going to be outdated, power creep is a thing, so instead of remaking this entire video, I'll just cover those outliers whenever they pop up and say that, alright, the newest expansion just released a sniper rifle that makes every other sniper rifle of this type redundant. Here's what it is, here's the best role, here's a short review, and here's a link to the old list in case you were curious about what else is there. Not gonna lie, this video took an eternity to gather all the information and to finally sit down and record it and make cute little charts and visuals to go along with it. So with that being said, I'm going to render this video, work out, make dinner, and then get on to live stream at twitch.tv/camicakes. Let me know what you think of the video. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.